It didn't take much more than a bottle and 2 chairs to make a speakeasy. This is what Daniel Okrent said in his book, Last Call, The Rise and Fall of Prohibition. Today, join us for some stories. Get your own bottle, glass, or mug, and relax. This is Speak Easily, and I'm your host, Krista Stauffer.
That's the hardest part of it. It's like people walk by.
Yeah.
I know you!
It's kind of nice in that regard, though. It's a lot more anonymous.
You introverts love
this. It's kind of private a little bit. I don't know. Yeah.
So you could be, but the problem for me is like I go through stores and I'm trying to smile at people.
I do the same thing.
I'm still doing it.
I look at them and I'm like,
smile at
and they're probably looking at me going, "What the hell is that guy staring at me for?" Yeah.
We need to. I mean, I think that's still a little creepy.
No, I don't think winking's coming back.
So you're saying don't walk through the store going
winking at people.
Hi.
That's the weirdest thing.
Or like an eyebrow. No, that's not any better.
Yeah, kind of that. Yeah, that's actually way worse. Yeah.
It's, well, I mean, honestly, what's
I think you just go with the namaste. No?
No.
That might be a bit much.
I like the creepy Lucille
I like
Blue.
the wink. That's so funny.
I'm not very good
The
at
Lucille
it.
Bluth, like...
Because you have to open your mouth when you do it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Did you ever notice that?
So weird. Yeah,
Or like
I
when you
always
put
do.
eye makeup on, you have to open your mouth.
Mhm.
Why do we do that?
I don't know. It really helps.
Have you ever tried it without it, though? It doesn't happen.
I've never tried. No.
You need to do that
That's
next
so
time.
funny. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, no. Anyway, that's what women do. We do weird things with our mouths while we put on makeup. Goodness, how are you? Besides, COVID and... Oh, that's rude. Sorry. Sorry.
Who was it?
I don't know.
It's
probably my friend who calls about this time every day.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not sure where she's from, but she has lovely lilting music in the background, and then she speaks to me what I think is Japanese.
Ah.
Yeah. So
See, I get a daily call from a number that comes up on my phone as scam likely. So it's basically saying that it's a scam. But I've started saying it like it's a guy named Scam
Hey,
Likely.
Mr.
And say,
Likely.
hey, it's Mr. Scam Likely calling me. Yeah.
Hello, Scam.
Oh, that old
How
guy.
you doing? Oh,
Yeah.
It's either that or the Kidney Foundation.
The Kidney Foundation.
I fully support the Kidney Foundation.
Yeah.
Phenomenal organization. But you donate one time.
Oh, yeah. Forever.
Really?
Yeah, forever.
And they call at very weird times. Sometimes it's like 8:45 at night. Which... I mean, you're going to pick your phone up at that time. Like,
Yeah.
this is definitely something that's like, hi, this is Deborah from the Kidney Foundation. Do you have anything?
We know you're home
I
right now,
know.
so that's why we're calling you.
We're sitting outside your house. Do you have anything to donate? Again, I fully support the Kidney Foundation. Great organization. Just let us be for like a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I donated twice in my life.
Oh.
But I am forever. Well, it's like
Forever
blood
attached.
donation. Have you ever donated blood? I know
No,
you
I
probably
haven't.
just recently were able to. But
Yeah, I haven't yet.
we did it in high school. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
In high school?
Yeah.
I always
They did
do it, but I don't.
Yeah.
I am too small. They won't let me. Which is a very bizarre thing.
Keep
that-
They
your
look
blood.
at you and they say,
Yeah.
we drain you.
Yeah, they won't let me. I was going to one time. It's very bizarre.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, then keep your blood. What are you? Do you know? Do you know your blood type?
I have no idea.
I guess you
Probably
don't.
should know.
Yeah. I guess it is kind of important, isn't
I
it?
don't know what mine is.
I'm A positive.
That
I'm
makes
A
sense.
plus. That's what I like to think of it as. My mom is, which one is she? She's O negative,
Oh,
which is like
that
a
the one that's-
universal.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she gets calls from, who's the organization? Oh my gosh.
American Red Cross?
Thank you. I'm like,
Oh.
ADA, that's American Dental Association.
The dentists are calling her for her blood. It's weird.
COVID gets to my head a little bit. No, but they call her constantly.
Oh my
They want her.
Yeah.
Yeah. They want to vampire her.
Yeah.
Poor mom. No, don't give blood then,
Okay.
and don't give to the Kidney Foundation unless you want to hear from them all the time.
Noted.
Again,
they're
the
a good
Kidney Foundation
organization.
is
They
a
do
great organization.
Excellent work. Excellent work.
They
Big
do.
fans.
I really don't even know what they do. I assumed something with kidneys.
Something with kidneys.
But what do they need my clothes for?
No.
I'm not sure if they're going to monetize or demonetize this particular episode on this one.
Oh gosh, maybe we just lost sponsorship from the Kidney
They're like,
Foundation.
Maybe, yeah.
So anyway, Maria Dalanno, she's back because we got to do the podcast for Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
When was that?
It was back in December.
November. Okay.
November. I don't know.
Before the world ended, we sat in that room over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was so fun.
Getting everybody together. Yeah.
Yeah.
It turned into a very interesting. I mean, everyone is, but
Yeah.
it's always interesting to find out where's this going to go.
Mhm.
Like, what sort of path are we going to take on this one? So,
It's exciting.
and Jesse feeling so bad about showing up late.
I know. We
Come
are.
on. Yeah.
Welcome.
Like, you should know how formal this really is. So formal. But we are wearing masks because it's good. It protects you, protects you from others, and you can give creepy winks. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on trying to wink with my mouth closed.
I think it'll be a fan favorite. A wink.
Very Lucille Bluth of us.
Right.
Did you ever watch Arrested Development?
No.
You should.
I should.
You
I
should.
passed.
If you get bored at any point in time, it's very funny. It's very funny. So you are home.
I am.
You were not home as of the world ending.
Yep.
I should
Literally
stop
right
saying
before.
Yeah. Yeah.
That much time.
You made it for what? 4 weeks?
4 weeks. Like almost exactly 4 weeks.
Okay, so I want to know
know.
this. I mean, I know part of the story because I was. We spent a month in the disco together. Yeah, with my wig. We were just talking about that wig.
Oh, beautiful.
That was the worst. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Edward. That was the worst wig ever. It was horrible. Anywho, so you were getting ready for college auditions,
Yeah, I was.
which are awful.
They are the most stressful things ever for really no apparent reason.
No.
It's just, I think it's just, there's a lot riding on it since it's college, so
Yeah.
people get like really freaked out.
And
about
you
it.
were doing like 16 of them.
Oh my goodness. I was doing, I had like 17 scheduled, yeah. It started out as 20, but then I cut it down a little bit.
To 17.
Oh, yeah, a big switch
Big
there.
chunk, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys were, because explain to us kind of how that the submissions and all of that.
Yeah.
Like,
So any BFA program, usually you have to submit a kind of portfolio, but like
Yeah.
musical theater and acting calls it like a pre-screen. So you record yourself doing like an excerpt of like a monologue or a song, and you also have to do a dance video. And it's very complicated because each school has different breakdowns by like the tiniest little bit. So one school will be like 1 minute monologue, don't go over. Another school will be like a minute 30.
right.
It's very complicated.
Or like,
So
do classical and contemporary. Oh, don't do
Right.
classical.
No
Don't do any classical.
No
yeah.
like, oh, it's very
Do a
specific.
30-second jazz combo.
Yeah,
do a
that
30-second
was the
ballet.
hardest thing for me was dance because it was so specific. Because some schools would be like, we need a plie, a tendu, a dégagé, like all this stuff, and then your combo, and then a tap excerpt. Then some schools were like, just your jazz combo, and we're fine.
Show us
So
what you can do.
it was just so much filming, but. Anyways, so you do
Yeah.
those and you send them to the schools, and then they decide if they want to invite you back for an in-person audition. So basically, for each program, you have to go through 2.
It's like the Miss America
Steps.
pageant every single
Literally.
school.
Oh my goodness.
So you heard back, and then you were invited to go on campus
Yeah.
for an audition.
Mm-hmm.
So where did you start? Because, I mean, we had to get rid of the show first. We had to get done with, we ended New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Glory.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. That was so
Yeah,
fun.
that was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, the show closed, and then like a week later, I went to Point Park. Was my first audition. It was in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, okay.
Yeah.
I was
So
thinking Philly, okay.
it's so hard to even remember the orders, but I was like all over the country.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I went to Pittsburgh. I went to Chicago. I went to New York 2 times for college auditions.
Right.
Then I went another time.
Yeah, right.
And I went to Florida. I went to Michigan. Oh, all over. It was so much traveling. It was so much fun, though. It
Yeah.
was a lot of fun, but it
But
was...
it's hectic.
Yeah, it was really constant, just
Yeah.
like back and forth. I missed so much school, but...
You would think that they would expect, well, maybe not, because They don't have tons of kids going out for.
Yeah, it's like a really
acting.
small amount. I don't know. And there are I know a few girls who are applying for dance, so
Yeah.
it's kind of the same thing. But I think I might have been the only musical theater major auditioning at my school. So
And you're
it's
at
like,
Central.
yeah, Westerville Central.
Or,
So
you're not. You were at
I
Central.
was.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Recent graduate.
Wow. Class of 2020. The year nobody will forget. Oh my gosh. So you're auditioning. Did it get easier? Like,
Oh yeah, it
Okay.
did. My first audition, I was mortified. I was so nervous.
I
'cause-
remember you.
Oh my goodness.
I remember you
Krista was
breaking.
with me. I went into
Poor
the green
thing.
room one day and I just had to break down for a minute. I think it helped me though. I think
does.
it was good. I had to let it out. But yeah, I was really nervous about all of it. I wish I wasn't because it ended up being more fun for me than
Yeah.
stressful.
With a very different outcome too, right?
very, very different outcome.
Uh-huh.
Like different.
So how did this happen?
Okay.
Like, so you're auditioning for colleges
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
an actor does.
Uh-huh.
And then you're
So-
in New York.
Yeah. So there's a week of auditions in Chicago for college. They're
Yeah.
called College Unifieds.
Yeah.
And I was there, and I was supposed to be there from like February 2nd to the 7th. So I had like my whole week there,
Okay.
and I was auditioning for a big bulk of my schools there.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had just been to New York like the previous weekend or 2 weekends before. And my mom saw an open call on Facebook for Mrs. Doubtfire, which was so funny because that's her favorite like movie.
Aw.
She loves Robin Williams
Yeah.
anyways, but that's like one of her favorites. Of
Had
all
you
time.
seen it before?
No.
Really?
I hadn't. I don't know how I avoided it. Like,
Okay.
I honestly don't know how, but, yeah, I hadn't seen it. But she saw the open call, and it was for the understudy of Lydia, who's the principal daughter in the show. And the breakdown just seemed like they wanted a short girl. It literally said, like, 5'2" and under, which is rare, I feel.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's very specific, and I'm really short. I'm 4'10", disclaimer. I'm 4 inches shorter than that. So I was like, okay, that alone, like, I might as well submit something. But then
Yeah.
it was really specific to me because it said a short girl who sings pop rock and who
Yeah.
can dance in an ensemble, because the track is, like, you're in the ensemble every night, but then you cover the role.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, oh my god. I was like, I have to send a video. I have
Yeah.
to try. But the open call was like the next day in New York. So we were like, oh, like, I don't know if they'll take a video from me. We can't make it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way we can get overnight and be
Right.
in New York City. So I emailed and I was like, hi, I'm very interested. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to request to send a self-tape.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And I honestly wasn't even expecting much from that because they
Yeah.
already had, like, I think 500 girls signed up for the
Oh
open
my
call
gosh.
because it was like a sign-up genius.
Mhm.
So you could see like everybody who was signed up, and it was like pages and pages and pages. And we were like, oh my goodness. So I didn't know if they would even accept it, but
Yeah.
they ended up saying, yeah, go ahead, send a video. So my mom took this like last-minute video of me in my hotel room. It was taken at like I think 11:30
Oh my gosh.
at night.
After auditioning. For
Yeah, a whole day of
colleges.
auditioning.
Yeah.
And I just used my pop rock song from college auditions, which was Barracuda by Heart.
Oh, I love Heart.
Um,
Heart is my karaoke go-to
Really?
band.
It's
yes.
perfect for that. Yeah, I sang Barracuda,
Oh,
which is so
nice.
funny. Sent it in, again, wasn't thinking anything, and then the next day, they said they'd like to see me in, like, I think it was 1 or 2 days. They were
Oh,
like,
my
come to
gosh.
New York. It was February 6th, and I sent my self-tape, I think, on February 3rd. So I had, like, 3 days. We all were looking at each other. We were like,
What do you
how are we going to get me from Chicago to New York City in 3 days ready for a callback? We were, like, freaking out.
But you were still supposed to be in for the Unifieds at that point.
Yeah, that was the other stressful thing because I had only auditioned for, like, 2 schools by the time I got a callback from Mrs.
jeez.
Doubtfire. So we were like, do I cancel the rest of my auditions? Like,
Uh-huh.
because we were, well, yeah, we were like,
Yeah.
obviously that's the, like,
Yeah.
that's what we have to do. But
Yeah.
that was really nerve-wracking for me at the time because in my head I was like, well, what if I don't get this? And,
Yeah.
like, the schools that I were going to get into, like, I couldn't audition.
Right.
Like, that's kind of stressful. But
Backtracking.
we were talking about it. We were like, it's so worth it. Like, we have to go. This doesn't happen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We have to go. So I went. And the first audition was just for a representative from Telsey,
Mhm.
who's really nice.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a casting agency.
yeah. That's the casting agency who is in charge of casting
Mhm.
Mrs. Doubtfire. And so it was just one nice lady behind a table. It lasted like 1 second. I did the material they sent me.
What did they send you? Like,
It was 2 scenes. They were pretty short though, like
yeah.
front and back was both of the scenes. And then I did the song What the Hell, which is like the only song that's really released to the public from the show. So I don't know if anybody's
So you have to
heard
listen
it. You can find it if you
can
search
find it. It's there. Look for it.
Yeah. But I sang that, and then there's another song called Just Pretend, which is a duet between Daniel, the dad, and the daughter, Lydia. So I did both of those, and it was like so fast. 2 minutes, I walked out, and I was like, all right, there it is. Like, that was fun. Like, I did my best. Like, if I don't get it, no worries. Again,
Yeah.
So, but then like an hour later, I got an email that they wanted to see me at the final callback in front of the creative team.
Oh, jeez.
The final callback, I'd only done one audition.
Right.
They'd only seen me do like one tiny little thing, and I was like,
Okay.
okay, well,
Here we go. How many are in the
here I
team?
go. I don't know exactly, but in the room that day, there was like so many people. There was like 10 people, maybe 10 to 12.
Jeez.
But I knew that Jerry Zaks, bless him, he is so amazing. Anyways, the amazing director. I knew that he was going to be there. I knew that like obviously the music director, music supervisors, everybody. But when I got there, the same lady who had been at my first callback, she was like, by the way, like the writers are here. Like everybody's here. We don't want to
No
catch you off
pressure.
guard. Yeah, exactly.
Everything's fine.
And the writers of the show are Wayne and Carrie Kirkpatrick. They wrote Something Rotten.
Oh, okay.
Like, they
yeah.
have so many credits, like Chicken Run, the movie.
Oh, I love that
Also,
movie.
like, yeah, so they're insane. Like, they're
Okay.
amazing. So when I heard that, I was like,
Oh.
okay, awesome. I'm going to be singing the songs to the people that wrote them. Like, this is so much fun. I was so excited, though, but when I heard that, I was like, okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, I went in, and it went really, really well. They all were really, really nice. It lasted, again, like 5 minutes, maybe
Did you have
10.
any idea in that moment, like, this could be happening? Like,
A little bit. I
Yeah.
had a little bit of suspicion, I guess, because there weren't many girls at the final callback.
Okay.
I think it was like, I don't know for sure who came through at the day, but when I was there was only like 6 other girls there.
wow.
Um,
Talk about narrowing it down.
I know, right?
Oh my
Because
gosh.
apparently they had an equity open call for the same track.
Really?
For the understudy track, like weeks before they did, they did an equity
So they
call.
didn't find an equity.
No,
okay.
they didn't find anybody somehow. I don't
Interesting.
know. It was very crazy because I didn't know that until I think I was already in rehearsal. Somebody told me they had been looking
wow.
for weeks because I think I was the last. I think I was the last addition to the cast.
Oh my gosh.
Because they found their swings and they found the
And what do swings do? Inform us on that.
swings are amazing.
It's not
They
just on
are-
playgrounds.
I think they have superpowers.
They
are
do.
the most amazing.
I honestly don't think I could be a swing.
I would love to try. I don't know. I think it's so amazing. Swings, basically, they cover every track in the ensemble. So they learn, like, very specific different parts of choreography.
Crazy.
And lots of times a swing is also an understudy. So that's, like, a whole new thing because you cover a principal role and every track in the ensemble. So they are the most amazing
Oh my god.
people ever.
And to
But,
have to, it's probably like, well, I feel good about these parts, but I hope this person
I
doesn't.
know. And lots of times, like, swings, like, find out they're going on for a track they don't really know, like, the day of.
Right.
And so they just have to make those little adjustments, which is so insane. Like,
I would
they
be
are
so
so
bad at that.
talented.
So
No.
bad, yes. Well, first off, I don't
It's so
dance.
hard.
You know that.
Oh, no.
You've seen it. It's been proven.
No.
But just to learn all of it, no.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They
So,
are superhuman. But yeah, I was the last addition to the cast. I found out I got the role, like, an hour after the audition.
Yeah.
And we were freaking out.
you were in a restaurant, weren't you?
I was in a restaurant, yeah. I had a little bit of suspicion, though, because there was a tiny little dance call after everybody had sang, and there was only 3 of us.
Okay.
So that's when I was, like,
Oh. Okay.
thinking, I was like, what am I, like... that's when it started
Yeah.
being like, okay, maybe I could get it, maybe.
Yeah.
But again, I still was like,
Wow.
oh, that's like a shot in a million, like, who knows. But yeah, we went to a restaurant, and I, like, couldn't eat. I was so nervous. I was, like, staring at my food, and I was like, I'm trying so hard, but, like, I can't eat this. Because I was so nervous. But then they called me, and I'll never forget the line she said to me. It was the same nice lady from Tennessee.
Yeah.
And she called me, and she started with, "Hi, Maria, I'm so sorry." And I was like, oh, you know
Okay.
what? That's
Okay.
okay. I can eat now. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, back to college. Like, that's okay. Literally. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
woo, we're getting ice
Hungry
cream
now.
tonight. Yeah, but she tricked me so bad. She said, "Hi, Maria, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to have to derail your college plans because you're going to be on Broadway.
Oh, my gosh.
I could cry thinking about it. I literally, like, I have chills. Like, when she said that, I was like, I almost collapsed. I don't know how I didn't. But it was the most surreal thing ever. Because, like, literally a month before that, I was just, my plan was a 4-year BFA track, and then we'd see what happens after that. Yeah. And it was just such a different... I hadn't even graduated high school yet because it was still February.
So, I mean, they wanted you out there, like, almost immediately.
Yeah, that was also the other crazy part because I found out I got the role on February 7th, and the first day of rehearsal was February 10th. So they were like,
drop out of school.
Literally. So they were, when I was auditioning, they made they were being extra cautious. They were like, like, if you get this role, you have to move to New York City. Like, you have to be ready to work, like, provide your own housing. And we were like, yep. We didn't even think about it. We were like, yeah, totally.
Fine.
I will be ready. Like, I will be there. Don't even worry. There's no worries. I will be there right away. Yeah. But then, like, when it actually happened, we were like, okay, so what are we really going to do? Yeah, so I had to move. The turnaround was, like, really, really fast. I came, because we were driving everywhere, so we didn't even fly. So it's, like, a 10-hour drive back home. So I think I was home for a little over 24 hours before I moved. Oh, my gosh. So I had to pack up, like, everything. My whole room. Not my whole room, but the clothes I wanted, like, and then I had to figure out, like, how I was going to say goodbye to everybody, because I didn't know that this was going to happen.
Right? Oh, yeah, that's
true. Like, now I've been home for, like, by the time I go back, I'll have been home for, I think, 4 months. I had no idea. So when I was moving, I was like, oh, my goodness, like, I have to say goodbye to my best friends and, like, everybody. This is so last minute. In the best way. It was, like, bittersweet in the best way. But
what did the school say?
That was really interesting. I emailed my teachers, I remember, and I emailed my principal, and I was like, hi, like, I know because that was the other funny thing. I actually hadn't been at school since, I think, January 27th. So I already was missing some weeks because I was traveling for college auditions. So they probably were wondering, like, where the heck is she? Is she okay? So I remember emailing them, and I was like, hi, guys. Like, I know I haven't been to school in a really long time. Thank you for being the best teachers, because it was funny because it was also second semester, the very beginning. So I had a new set of teachers that barely knew me.
Oh, right.
So it was so funny emailing them because I was like, I won't be coming back to school because I'm moving to New York City, but thank you for a great year. Like, I'm sure that there will be, like, tutors calling you. I don't know, but I won't be back.
Because is that like a deferment or a transfer?
It was really tricky. I guess technically it was graduating early. That's what my school called it, but that's tricky because I didn't get my diploma early. They had no plans to, like, mail it to me before May. Huh. So I graduated with everybody else, but I guess in their records I graduated early. I don't know. That's really weird. We're still confused about that.
At that point in your senior year, it's kind of like...
I know, you've gotten into college, like, everything's pretty much done. So, yeah, it was really strange. But I was lucky enough because I had all my graduation credits done my junior year, and I was already just taking, like, AP and, like, college classes anyways.
To get them out of the way.
Yeah, just, like, to transfer over, possibly. So I didn't have to tutor when I went to Doubtfire, which was great. Because tutoring in a Broadway show, the kids are also superhuman. I don't know how they deal with that because they have, like, time scheduled, like, 5 hours of tutoring in the morning. Oh, God. And, like, they have to be pulled out of rehearsal to go, like, do math. I don't know how they I don't know how they do it. But I was lucky enough I didn't have to do that. That's awesome. Yeah.
Because to have to put your mind on two separate things and then to be, how old's the littlest one in the cast?
9.
Like, that's a late night for a 9-year-old anyway.
Right.
And then have to spend all of that time. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
So you moved in 3 days.
Yep.
Yep.
We had a good... it was tricky, but we had a good plan.
Yeah.
I was planning to stay with my mom and my stepdad Dave for a week because they were staying in a hotel anyways, just to... They were really great. I obviously would be nowhere without them. I would be living in a box floating down the river.
Yeah, I agree. Did you say in a van down by the river?
I said in a box floating down the river.
In a van!
A van! No, a box! Even better.
I don't think she gets the reference.
There's Chris Farley, Saturday Night Live.
Oh.
Again, I'm going to send you a list of things that you need to watch.
Please do.
Okay, I will. I think you guys did that to me when we were on our call. You're like, you need to start watching this program.
Yeah.
I took a couple down. Anyway. So you were in a box. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like I was saying, they were so great. Because when I was at rehearsal, because the days are like 10 to 6, they would be out apartment hunting for me and, like, figuring that out for me so we wouldn't have to be doing it late at night. And, like, they were meeting so many people and looking at so many places. And they literally moved all my stuff into my apartment while I was at rehearsal, which was
wonderful.
It was amazing, yeah.
Where'd you end up finding a place?
I'm in the financial district.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. It's a nice little... cute little place.
Cute little place. Are you by yourself, or did you get a...
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm by myself. That was the other thing we were talking about, because it was so last minute, like, moving. We were talking about, like, finding a roommate, possibly. Yeah, I had various plans to sleep on people's floors for a minute. It was very funny. But
that would have been fun.
I know. But luckily, everything worked out, like, perfectly.
What a buzzkill. Like, this great all-day rehearsal from 10 to 6 and then sleep on somebody's floor.
I know. Can you imagine? In, like, a sleeping bag.
Oh, gosh.
Right?
And sleep so well.
Yeah.
Wow. So you get your place and you started and...
It was the most amazing month of my whole life. It was so amazing.
And everybody's super cool and
yes, that's what I was hearing. Like, from the minute I got casted and posted something about it, like, I was getting messages and comments of, like, people who knew people that were in the cast, and they were like, this is the best, like, Broadway family you will ever find. Like, they are such a family unit. It's, like, so genuine. They all love each other so much. And so that was making me really excited, because obviously moving, I already didn't know anybody, and that would have been so scary if they were all, like, intimidating. But oh, it's the most opposite version of that ever. They are just the biggest family. And, like, from the minute I stepped off the elevator to the rehearsal studios, like, I was just greeted by hugs. And, like,
how sweet.
We've been waiting to meet you. Like, we're so excited to have you here. Like, welcome.
That's
like,
awesome.
The best people I could ask for. They're amazing. Yeah, so.
And there's how many kids in the cast? I call you a kid. You're not a kid, but I mean playing the kids.
There are 6, because there are 3 principals and then the 3 understudies. Yeah.
Because Lydia's meant to be, what, like?
15.
15? Okay. And then, what's his name? I just watched it.
Christopher?
Christopher is like 11 or 12?
12, I think.
And then the little one.
Oh, I don't know how old Natalie's supposed to be. 6? 7? Young. But the the girls who play Natalie, they're 9.
Okay. Had they done shows before?
Yes, that was the other crazy thing. I think I was the only person joining the cast who literally had never. Obviously, my time at, like, Short North Stage and things, like, I would not be equipped without that. Right. But, like, they had done national tours, like, they all had credits. And, like, Annalise, the girl that I understudy, she's so amazing, by the way. She had already done 3 Broadway shows, I believe.
My gosh.
2?
Okay.
I think Doubtfire is her 3rd, but she's only 20. So that was already, like... Wow. So it was really scary going in, so I'm really lucky that they're, like, the best people ever, because I was so nervous about it. Yeah.
I mean, to drop everything and have to be like, okay, I'm ready.
Exactly.
Let's go.
It was, like, it was really overwhelming, but I always say, like, overwhelming in the best way. Yeah. That's how I explained it to everybody, because...
You may not have had time to think about it either.
No, and I think that's what made it easier for me, because... Like, I think that if I were to plan a move to New York City, like, after graduating college with, like, no idea what I would be doing and, like, no idea what jobs I would be doing, just going and waiting, it would be so scary for me. Obviously, that was my plan, and I was so excited to get there, but I think that it was the best thing for me to be thrown in and started rehearsal, like, the minute I got there. Because, again, like, I had no time to worry. I had no time to, like, sit back and be, like, think about every little thing. It just happened. So I think that's what... Same thing with the auditioning. Like, I was so, like, programmed to audition at that point, because I'd already done, like, 12 college auditions, I think. It was, like, I wasn't even nervous. That's the craziest thing. Like,
probably just felt like another college audition.
Exactly. I basically treated it like that, because I just had got so used to, like, meeting new people and just singing in front of them and being like, here's what I do. Like,
here's me.
Here's me. It's all good. So I think that also set me up in the best possible way.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's the craziest thing.
How do you like living in the city?
I love it so much. I miss it so much. Yeah. I always loved New York City. I hadn't visited very much. Like, I'd only been there 3 times, I believe, like, on actual vacations, not just for, like, random days. And I always loved it, and I was so excited to move there. But
Was it weird, like, the first couple of times being on your own?
Yeah, it was so weird. I always tell stories about how much trouble I had grocery shopping. That is the thing I underestimated the most, because obviously when you go to, like, Kroger or Trader Joe's here, your car's right there, and you just put it in your trunk and drive, and it doesn't matter how much you buy.
Oh, jeez.
So I went to Trader Joe's one night. It was my first Trader Joe's trip. I was so excited because I love Trader Joe's. And I had no groceries, and I had so much stuff. I brought my reusable bags. I was like, this is going to be so nice. I go to pick my bags up after she, like, checked me out, and they were so heavy. They, like, dropped to the floor. I was like, okay, like, this is great. This is fine.
Goody.
And so I, like, trudged back to the subway, like, literally dragging my feet because they were so heavy. And it's just, I underestimated so many small things like that. I just, like...
Yeah. You're like, okay, smaller trip.
Yeah, but it's funny to think back on, like, me, like, I remember getting, like, stuck in the turnstile, like, trying to get on the subway. I was like, oh my god, my bags are too heavy. Just funny
this
things
tiny
like
little
that.
thing with
Literally just, like, oh my goodness, like,
that's
waddling through.
Well, and I mean, because we don't, around here, typically don't go to the grocery every day, you know?
No.
Like, because there's no need. We can load up.
Right,
Because
you
we
can
can
just-
put it in our car.
So now I know, like, I'll just go to the grocery store when I
Yeah.
need, like, specific things for
Right.
that week. That makes more sense.
Just load up on
Yeah.
those little lighter items.
Yeah.
Wow.
Another funny story, like, the first day I went to rehearsal without my parents in the city. Because it's so weird why I did this, because every day I went to rehearsal by myself just to get used to it, even if they were still in the city.
Right.
But the first day they were gone, like, back in Ohio, I got on the wrong train. I went downtown instead of uptown, and I didn't notice it until I was, like, 8 stops into Brooklyn.
Of course, yeah.
And I hear them saying a street I don't recognize, and I was like, oh my god, I have to be at rehearsal in 10 minutes, and I'm all the way in Brooklyn, and I have to go all the way
And then
half
back,
up Manhattan. Oh my goodness, I was so stressed. I got off the subway, and I called my mom. I was like, I don't know how to get on the other train. So that's another funny story.
Oh.
But
Well, you know, navigating those things is always so much fun anyway.
it's
And the amount of people you see on there,
I know.
always interesting.
It's so interesting. It's so fun. The people watching in New York City is unmatched.
Constant, too.
It's so exciting every
Oh, I
time.
love it. And we Midwesterners are like, oh,
I know.
Really? Oh.
But it's so funny because, like, there would be certain things where, like, I'm like, can you imagine me, like, doing that on a subway? People would be, like, looking at me, but no. You could literally, you could be doing the weirdest thing in the whole world and no one will even
Totally
look at you.
fine.
Like, there are tiny things that I would overthink, like,
Yeah.
here. Like, if I were just sitting in public somewhere, I'm like, oh, like, if I do that, like, people are gonna... You could literally sit on the subway and, like, talk to yourself, and nobody would even flinch.
No. They'll ignore you
It's
more.
so good. Yeah, exactly. They'll just be like,
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's-
I love New York City. I'm so excited
It is pretty
to move
awesome.
back. I love it.
So you guys were, so you said like the 10th.
Yeah.
You had 2 weeks of rehearsal, 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think about 2 to learn all the material, and then I think the third, about that. And then we moved into the theater. And
Which
did
theater
tech.
was that in?
The Stephen Sondheim. Yeah, it's so beautiful.
I've
'cause
heard
it's-
of him before.
Yeah, just a little
Sounds
name.
familiar. Don't know where I've heard him.
And that was going to be so cool because they have a thing for his birthday every year.
Yeah.
And obviously,
They were
since
gonna do
this
it there.
year, it was a big thing because didn't he turn 90?
He's 90 this year.
Yeah, and because they did it for his, they just remodeled the whole theater for his 80th. I believe.
Okay.
It's like brand new. They just fixed it.
Really? What was there
So-
before? Do you know what?
The show.
Yeah.
I think Beautiful
Okay.
was the most recent show.
Because I was there in April.
Yeah.
At some point in my life, I was there.
Yeah, I don't know what was,
I can't remember.
but I saw Beautiful there. It was like my second Broadway show I've
Okay.
seen.
In that theater?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool.
Which is really cool.
You're like, yeah, I know
Like-
this place. Now
It's
it's
so
mine.
cool. It's so cool.
Wow. And then you guys had a week on the theater stage then? Then
Yeah, we did tech for about a week and a half. I don't even know. It was such a blur, like
Yeah.
just being there, thinking back. But we got 3 previews in. So like a
Yeah.
little tease.
did they, I mean, what was the protocol like? Like, how did they communicate to you what was happening?
Like with coronavirus
Yeah.
and everything. It was really tricky. It was all like up in the air. We were hearing a lot of rumors from like other Broadway shows, and obviously when you hear that like all the sports team, like everything's
Yeah.
starting to be canceled, we're like, oh well, like
Here we go.
we're next.
Yeah.
So we had a few small meetings with our producers, but they were always like very back and forth. Literally the night before the shutdown, we all were like so hyped up because our producer was like, Mrs. Doubtfire will go on, like we don't know for sure, but, like, this is the story we need to tell. People need this story. We don't want to shut down our show. Like, everything's going to be fine. And we were like, okay.
Yes.
Like, that's great. That's
and
great.
Then...
But then the next morning, we find out that Moulin Rouge canceled their show for that night because I think a lot of cast members there were tested positive for coronavirus anyways. So
Aaron Tveit had it. I was worried about him.
I know.
I like him.
He's precious cargo.
I know. Tom Warren and I will fight over him.
He's perfect.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
He is perfect.
Did you get to meet him?
No.
It'll come.
There's
There's not that much of an age difference. You can get him, right? He's 30-something. That's not that big of a deal.
Fine.
I mean, what?
That's fine.
What's 15 years between
Who cares?
lovers?
Who cares?
God.
That's...
Sorry.
Yeah, who cares?
Hey,
That's
that
fine.
sounds weird.
If you saw Aaron
Between
Tveit,
lovers. Yeah.
you got to see Aaron Tveit. And then you'd be like, oh, I see what she's talking
You'll
about.
get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'll Google.
He's worth it.
All right.
Anyway.
Hi, Aaron Tveit.
Hey,
Just trying to hook you
if
up with
you're
one of my
listening.
former students. Hope that goes well.
That's so funny. Yeah, but we found out that they canceled their show, so we were like, oh, if they're canceling, like,
Right.
here we go. And there was, like, articles by the New York Post.
Had
Like-
they opened? It was open, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's been open for, I think, maybe almost a year.
Oh, has it really?
Yeah, it was, like, the season before us.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, he's
there
dreaming.
he is.
He's not just dreamy.
He's got the hair. and
uber
everything.
talented.
He's
Yeah.
so his voice.
Yes. He is probably my favorite Broadway voice.
Really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's delightful.
I want to meet him.
I'm proud. Yeah. We'll work on
Maybe.
that.
Work on
Aaron?
it.
I'm taken. I can't have you. So,
So
next
funny.
best thing.
But yeah, we were hearing all these rumors, and then we knew that a meeting was going to come from our producer to tell us, but he's also the producer for Six. And the day of the shutdown was Six's opening night.
Oh, shit.
Weirdly, the way it
Yeah.
worked. It was weird because it was a Thursday, but for
Yeah.
some reason they were opening. So he was like really busy over there with them because that would be
Did they still do it?
devastating. Mm-mm.
No.
No, because everybody shut down the night of the 12th.
Oh my gosh.
So they couldn't have their opening night. So we understood. We were like,
Yeah.
he's dealing with that.
He's-
But it was the weirdest waiting period because we were just like doing tech and we were just like
What do we do?
sitting in the theater.
Yeah.
Like just waiting. We knew it was coming, but we waited like 3 hours just like freaking out, like pacing and like it was
Oh
just
my
the weirdest
gosh.
waiting period. But then he came in and told us and like that day
So
was
what did they say? Like,
crazy.
just go home?
Well, we thought at that point it was only going to be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So they were being really like, if you're going out of the state, please let us know since it's such like a quick turnaround. Like, we just want to know where you are
Yeah.
in case there's like travel bans and things like that.
Did you stay?
No.
You went home. Okay.
Luckily, I didn't stay. That was
Yeah.
that was the other scary thing because I'm such a weird age in the show. Like, there's either like little kids or they're like
Adult.
established adults who have
Mhm.
lived in New York City. But I had just moved out, so it was really scary.
Yeah.
The thought of me being in New York City alone with my parents, a
Mhm.
9-hour car drive
Yeah.
away.
When did you leave then?
I left the next morning on a plane
Okay.
with my brother and his girlfriend because luckily they were still in the city for that week after they saw one of our previews.
Okay.
So my mom just added me to their flight and I went home. But the biggest concern was we heard that there might be a travel ban from anybody coming back into New York City.
Right.
And so we were like, well, what if it's less than 2 weeks? Well,
Here we
that
are.
didn't happen. But
Just in case you're living somewhere where you haven't heard of what's going on, that's not the way that it went.
no, it didn't go that way. But that's okay. But we were really scared that it was going to be less than 2 weeks and I'd be
Yeah.
stuck in Ohio if I went home and I wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
get back in New York City
Right.
for the show. So that was a big concern, but we were like, no, like I just need to
Yeah.
go home because the city was crazy.
Yeah, it
like,
was not good.
Ghost town,
Mhm.
no toilet paper, no cleaning supplies, barely any groceries. Because that
And
was
a
like,
lot of sick people.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was not a good time to stay, so I'm lucky that I went home.
Yeah.
But
And here we are.
here we are today.
But then to have to come home and just like sit and wait.
Mhm.
Like,
It's been really tricky
yeah.
because I think it was a lot of just like shock. I don't know if that's the right word because I already was thrown into it so quickly, and like my whole world changed. I was in this new community, like
Yeah.
Broadway. Like that's not what I expected at all, and I was just thrown into it with all these amazing people that I
Yeah.
looked up to and known about like
Yeah.
my whole life.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, just as fast as I was thrown in, I was thrown out.
Yeah.
And I'm just like back in my bedroom that's
Here's
empty.
the perfection, and you're done.
Exactly. Like I'm really happy to be home because I can spend
Yeah.
more time with my
Yeah.
dog and my family, and but it was so weird because all of my stuff was then transferred to my apartment, and I only brought back a tiny little suitcase of like sweatpants and sweatshirts because I was like, okay, 2 weeks, like I'll just lay in bed, it'll be fine, I don't need anything.
Oh gosh.
So it was just really weird to sit in my like room that didn't really feel like my room anymore.
Yeah.
With like out my clothes that I liked, and it was just it's still weird, but the beginning was especially weird because it just felt like
what do you do?
there was nothing. There was no like guidance of what was going to happen. So.
And then, saying you have to stay away from everybody too. Or it's
Right.
like, this is when you need affection and attention the most.
And my mom also tested she had coronavirus.
Did she really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she had it like right after she came home from New York. Because like I said, my family was all seeing the preview the week before the shutdown. So she came home and she was feeling sick, and obviously she's like hearing all that, like freaking out. So she got tested and she was positive. So that was even crazier because obviously my whole family was like really, really quarantined for a while.
Did she have a lot of the symptoms, or?
She didn't. She was like really tired and obviously like didn't have a lot of energy, but luckily it wasn't. It was nothing more than probably like a bad flu. But that's the crazy thing. You don't know.
You don't know.
But luckily she's
good.
Okay now. Yeah.
I love your mom. She's
She's great. She loves you.
Well, we've known each other for a couple
long.
years. When was, were you in, this is Krista's Corona brain trying to work here.
I did, I think my first.
Did you do Into the Woods?
I was supposed to, but then I did Seussical the next year.
That would have been
I think I was like 12 or 13.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, back when I was still 29, right?
Yes.
That's a lie. That's a complete lie. I was not 29. I was mid-30s. Yeah. So what have you done while you've been? You've seen your friends and...
Yeah, I just started seeing my friends more recently, like as things have been calming down, I suppose. Yeah. But the beginning, like I said, was like really hard for me because I felt like there was a lot of pressure because like I think at the beginning of quarantine for everybody, especially like artists, there was a lot of pressure to be like, use this time to like write a song.
Create.
I think I talked to you about this on the call, but I felt a lot of pressure. I was like, should I learn an instrument? Like, should I paint something? Like, should I form a new craft? And like, I don't know why I felt that pressure, but I just saw so many people being productive, and then I was just like laying in bed watching movies, which is what I'm still doing, by the way. But that was really tricky for me because I felt like I needed to do something. But when I stepped back and I was like, no, I should just do things as I feel. Like, this is already an overwhelming time. I shouldn't push myself to do anything. Then I kind of figured it out. Yeah. But it was really weird because I've always been the kind of person who's really motivated, and I love being busy. Yeah. Like, oh my God, my whole high school schedule was just like go, go, go. I never had free time really to do anything because I didn't care to do anything except theater. That's just what I love. So to not be doing anything, it was really weird. And it was a weird time because I didn't feel like doing anything. And, like, that's so weird for me to not want to take a dance class on Zoom or, like, try to sing, you know? But it was just, like, now I'm back on that. I'm taking regular dance classes and, like, singing as much as I can. But it was just a really weird, unmotivated period.
I think
it was really tricky.
I think people are still there. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know I go through waves of it. Like, there's some days that are stellar. Like, this morning, I mowed the yard.
That's good.
At like 9:30. Wow. Usually I'm getting up at 9:30. Yeah. So it was like, okay.
That's the best time to mow the lawn, honestly, because it's not 1,000 degrees outside.
Honestly, by the time I was done, it was pretty bad.
Yeah. We're at like mow the lawn, get a headache territory. Yeah, this stage.
It's not the... But I love mowing the lawn.
Do you?
I feel like we've had this conversation.
You're welcome to come over and mow my lawn.
No, I don't want to mow yours.
All right, I'll see you Saturday.
But going back to non-mowing yards, like, there's certain days where it's just like everybody's annoying. Well, that's a lot of days. I mean, come on, let's be honest. No, it's just like I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to get on, especially at the beginning, was for me where it's like I'm a completely social person and don't do well without that. There were a couple times where it's like I just don't feel like talking on this call today. Yeah, I don't want to talk to anybody. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And I take long walks with the dog. They're not romantic, don't worry. But no, it started at the beginning of just going around the neighborhood a couple of times, but it's sort of increased. It's like, usually between 5 and 10 miles with the dog.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm turning into
That's
my grandma.
good,
She
though.
does the same thing. But
That's good.
yeah. But there's just not,
very
it's not a
weird.
sense of normalcy.
Mm-mm.
Like, I did stuff at the beginning because I had to.
Mm-hmm.
There just wasn't, I didn't have a coping mechanism
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
But again, you know, and even talking to you guys at the beginning of all this, all the students that we talked to, like, how can we help? What can we do to make you feel not worthless in this time? But I remember you saying that. I was like, oh, shoot, I don't want them to feel pressure like they have
Yeah.
to. It's more just like, I think it was with Kyle when we did a play reading. It was the first weekend. I think we did it on that Sunday. And I just kept apologizing. I'm sorry, I'm taking up a lot of your time. I'm really sorry. Guys, it's been 2 hours. If you need to go, please, please, please jump off. I don't want to keep you any. And then everybody sticks around and talks for a half an hour about the play. And I talked to his mom afterward, and she was like, that was his favorite part.
Yeah.
It was just having those creative conversations again.
Right.
And we're getting back to that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still not standing on stages yet.
I know.
And they're saying
Someday.
January 3rd
Yeah, that's
is
the
when
new
they'll
day.
readdress it kind of thing. Because they didn't say they would open on the 3rd.
Mm-mm.
They're closed through the 3rd, right?
Yeah, that's just for like ticket sales.
Okay.
When you can buy them. So hopefully it won't be too far after that date.
How was the show selling? I mean,
It was doing really well
that's
because
what I
they already
figured.
had a solid like fan base from Seattle. It did really well there.
Oh, okay.
They
Did Rob
did
do it out there?
Yeah,
Okay.
they did at the Fifth Avenue Theater in Seattle.
Oh, wow.
Audiences were loving it. It was like the most fulfilling thing, like screaming
Aw.
when Rob came
Aw.
on stage. Like it was like being received really, really well.
Yeah.
So we were all like really excited. So when it ended, it was kind of hard,
Wow.
but we're excited, obviously,
back?
to go back. Yeah,
I
it will.
don't have any doubt that it will be successful.
I think it will too.
It's
It's just such, the story is just, it's just so important. I think it's all about just like love and like strength and family and just.
I always loved that it wasn't necessarily a happy ending. I mean, it didn't tie. They didn't get back together. You know,
No.
they don't tie it up in this pretty little bow. It's like this is what it really is.
Like,
But you can move on through. Yeah.
It's just like it's a really beautiful story. It's a good family story, and I think it'll be good for
Yeah.
when everything goes back.
Yeah.
It'll be a good story to hear.
And it's-
I think.
Joy.
Yeah, and Rob
yeah.
is hilarious. Like
I saw him in Beetlejuice last
he
year.
is perfect.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, I think it'll be
Yeah.
a good return. I hope we're all really excited.
I'm excited for
so.
you.
Thank
It was
you.
just such a joy to hear like this dream, literally dream come true.
Yeah.
For you, like-
it makes me like so like emotional. Yeah.
But you have worked your tuchus off for this, and I've seen you. Like, this was not like
I've tried.
you fell into something, or you're sitting in the mall eating your ice cream, and someone
Yeah.
walks up and says, "You'd be great on Broadway," and
Yeah.
suddenly you have this. No, that's not how it works. Like,
It was my whole life.
Yeah.
Like especially in high school, I was like really, really.
yeah,
Because my goal was school. I was like, I want to get into my dream school, so I'm going to work really, really hard, and I'm going to get there, maybe.
eventually you might if you feel it necessary.
Yeah.
Or you might go get a teaching degree someday
Yeah.
in the future and start directing. And yeah. What do you want? I mean, you know, just someday when you're an old fart like me and there
Right.
aren't as many roles available,
Right.
like, what do you want to do?
I'm really interested in choreographing.
Mhm.
I love that, and I'm like excited to learn more about
Yeah.
that. But I also love to write, and I love
Mhm.
English, and I love journalism, specifically. So
Interesting.
I think it would be cool to be like, I don't know, it's kind of tricky, but like a reviewer for like art and like shows, but that's tricky because you get a lot of backlash from that.
Yeah.
But something involved in the arts, like with
Yeah.
writing and like journalism, I think that would be really cool.
you could do just the interview portions
Yeah, that would be
rather
so
than the
fun.
reviews. I don't
Yeah.
think I could review something.
I don't
Because
know.
every sentence would be like, I'm really sorry, but I
yeah,
didn't.
that's so me too.
I'm so sorry to say this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like, it's not personal.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I don't know about that, but something in that
Yeah.
scene maybe. I don't know. But choreographing for sure. I would love that.
What was it, Ward, when we had on a guy from a band, Ward Williams, who plays cello, and he most recently played for Beetlejuice in the
that's
Pit.
cool.
And I was like, oh yeah, I saw it. He's like, what'd you think?
Oh.
It was a show?
I saw it opening week.
Okay.
It was literally...
I never saw it.
There were really, really wonderful pieces about it. Like, visually stunning.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Incredible. Alex Brightman, phenomenal. Rob, phenomenal. There were other people in it that were on stage.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't. And when I saw it, it wasn't polished. It was like, and even the review that came out the next day said, "Intermission, come," and me one go home.
Oh.
It wasn't. I mean, come on, it was still a Broadway show.
Right.
But I think that there's so many movies they've made into Broadway shows, which is a little bit annoying. But I think something like Mrs. Doubtfire has more to it. You know?
It like sings really easily.
Yeah.
Like the music just like it
Right.
like
It weaves. And it's that you guys have a creative team of Broadway music writers
right.
instead of random person who was popular in the 80s writing a soundtrack. I'm not going to mention any of these in particular, but like, you know, those sometimes just don't work.
Yeah.
But Broadway's such an animal of itself. And,
Yes.
Are you reading any new plays? Are you...
I'm a little behind on that.
Okay, you don't have to. Are you watching any good shows right now?
I have been obsessed with Love Island. I think I also talked about that when we...
Yeah, you did. I can't remember
It's a British dating show. It's so funny because they're British.
Is
It
it-
adds to it.
Where-
It's like they find contestants and they just like live on this island alone
Is
and
it
they
Netflix?
like find love. It's on Hulu.
On Hulu, okay.
And there's also an Australian version. I haven't watched that yet, but
I would watch that one.
I'm sure it's great.
that's my
I just
favorite
love the
accent.
accents. There's
Yeah.
also an American version, but I don't know if it would be as funny.
Probably not.
Just because
We'd just be
it
embarrassed
just
by
adds
ourselves.
to it. The accents just add to it. It's so good. I'm obsessed
Aw.
with that. Yeah. Also baking shows.
Okay.
I love that.
Okay. I haven't gotten into any of those.
Oh, and I just watched The People versus O.J. Simpson, the American crime story that
Really?
Ryan Murphy did. It's like
Yeah. I love Ryan.
I love crime, like
I do too.
documentaries and like crime.
I do too. Why are we so obsessed with true crime?
I love true crime.
Like,
that
I-
should have been my first answer. I watch true crime documentaries
I do
like
too.
every single
I started
day.
Unsolved Mysteries. They're putting old
I haven't
episodes.
watched that yet.
You're too young for this, but when we were like middle school-ish,
Yeah, I'd say
late
middle
elementary,
school.
middle
Yeah.
school, Unsolved Mysteries comes out. Have you heard of this show?
Yeah,
This is the show that we stupidly all somehow watched by ourselves
I
when our
remember it
parents
being
were
on
out.
Sunday nights, if I'm not mistaken, and it was like 9 p.m.
Yep.
and it was Robert Stack, who is a scary dude anyway, and he's just telling
Yeah.
these really spooky stories about alien abduction and
And murdered children.
Yeah, murdered
and
kids.
There's like
Yeah.
5 or 6 different stories they tell in one episode.
Oh, wow.
Scares the living shit out of you.
Wow.
And we're kids.
And then it's like, good night.
Yeah. So I started watching that again.
That sounds interesting.
It's still
I feel
scary.
Like I passed that on like, Netflix.
It's nice because it's quick.
Yeah.
There's some, like, I listen to true crime podcasts, and some of them it's sort of like, I don't really need to know the way that he tied his shoes.
Right.
We're just kind of filling time
Right.
now. But what other true crime shows do you watch?
I just watched the Jeffrey Epstein documentary.
Did
on
you? Somebody else
Netflix.
told me to watch it. Is it good?
It's crazy.
He had, like, New Albany ties, didn't
Yeah.
he? Ugh.
Wexner? I don't know his first name.
Yeah,
but
Les Wexner.
it's crazy.
Oh,
That is a
gosh.
crazy show.
What's the one?
I just love true crime.
I do
It's
too.
good.
I do too. It's
so good.
pathetic, I know.
Also, plugging American Crime Story, the second installment of it is like the assassination of Gianni Versace. And it has
Really?
Darren Criss, and it is
Oh.
so good.
Mm.
It's so good.
I have to watch that one. It's amazing how we get sucked into, like, murder. Like,
I
ooh,
know.
murder.
I feel so bad being like, I love true crime because it's just awful.
Everybody
But
does,
it's so
though.
interesting. I'm so interested by it.
I think I told you about it. All these walks that I'm taking with the dog, that's what I listen to while I'm walking the dog, which is not good when you're listening to a podcast of 2 women who got murdered in the woods while you're walking
No.
in the woods. Like, oh gosh.
An experience. Oh no.
So I take more city walks now.
Yeah.
Like, don't need to be one with nature. I'll take the Olentangy Trail that's mostly open at this point. Yeah, I can still get murdered there just as easily, but yeah, it's odd. But I do really enjoy it.
I love them.
I like a good crime story.
Me too. They're so good.
You're into it too, aren't you? Are you?
Nah,
No?
not as much.
I think chicks are more into it. I really do. I hear more
Yeah.
women that say, I
Yeah.
love true crime.
No, I'm more into science fiction.
Oh.
Yeah. So, that's what my wife and I have been doing.
Have you watched Black Mirror?
I have, yeah.
I love Black Mirror. It's so good.
I haven't been able to watch it lately because it's getting a little too realistic.
I know, that's the whole thing. Like, during all of this, it's like we are living a Black
Yeah.
Mirror
Oh, I don't know
episode.
that I want to
feels-
watch it then.
Yeah,
It's really good, though.
it's in the same vein as like an Unsolved Mysteries, but it's also done like they're short like vignette stories, kind
Yeah.
of like like Tales from the Crypt.
So
and
you
stuff
could
like
start
that.
Yeah, they,
midway
like-
through and
But
not.
it's all like modern day like technology kind of
Okay.
like
Uh-huh.
you know.
Like, every episode speaks on, like, a different social issue and, like, how
Interesting.
technology is, like,
I was told to watch that because my new Corona obsession is an actor named Andrew Scott.
Oh.
Fleabag. Did you watch Fleabag? It's another good one. And the Sherlock Holmes, the BBC with
okay.
Benedict.
Yeah.
He plays Moriarty.
Oh.
He is super hot, and he has an Irish accent. And that's basically what I'm looking at. But he also did a Broadway show called Seawall several years back, and Jake Gyllenhaal did another portion. They were just two one-man monologue shows, and he did that, and it was up on YouTube. This is actually when I fell in love with Mr. Andrew Scott. I realize I'm not what he's looking for. Let's just lay that out there. But he does this entire 35-minute monologue by himself, one take in his flat. I think you have to buy it now, but
Yeah.
they had it up for about 2 weeks for free, and it was just like,
That's crazy.
I mean, of course it's devastating,
Yeah.
but to see this actor just literally in his, and only one time did he go off the camera to get a bottle of water in his kitchen and come back out.
Wow.
Like,
That's crazy.
and he's super hot. So
Yeah.
he's in an episode of Black Mirror. Somebody told me that I can just watch that episode.
It is so good. I
have to-
recommend it.
Okay. I've been watching Normal People. Did you hear about that one?
I think I've heard about it. Yeah.
I've been on an Irish kick. I don't know what this is. Yeah, like a lot. Dairy Girls was
I
great.
haven't
It's
watched-
another Irish comedy. This one is it's racy. I was watching it today with my son in the other room. I'm like, okay, if he walks in, this is not gonna work. But no, it's really well written and just very, very nice. And I like the Irish accent. I'm
Yeah.
really getting into that a lot more. So Andrew Scott, if you're out there,
If you're listening. And Aaron Tveit,
And yeah,
if you're on here.
yes. Because he listens to all. Come on, he listens to all of our podcasts. So
All of them.
totally. Thanks,
If we
Aaron.
can get both of them at the same time, we'll get you back. And
That
there you
sounds
go.
so dirty.
Yeah.
Sorry. We will. We'll get you set up with your new husband, Aaron Tveit.
Okay.
How is he
Perfect.
still single? He's single,
I
isn't he?
think so.
It's ridiculous. Gracious. The world today.
I know.
I like that we circled back to Aaron Tveit.
I know, I'm sorry. I just had to bring that up. The
No, it's fine.
two men of the episode.
That's okay. I'll bring it back to Andrew Scott later. Like, we're just gonna get there. It's fine.
Full
So.
circle.
I am so proud of you.
Thank
I'm
you.
always so proud of you. You're
Thank
doing
you.
amazing things, and you are loving and kind, and
Oh, thank you.
you know. So I always remember hearing, I think it was back in college, granted, long time ago, but somebody said, like, to work in the industry, you can't be a nice person. And I really, I questioned that even then. Like, so I have to be horrible
Oh.
to succeed?
I don't
And I have found nothing but the opposite. I know there's jerks out there. I know
Yeah.
that, but I don't see it that often.
Yeah, everybody, like, I'm in, like, a Doubtfire bubble, obviously. I didn't have
Yeah.
time to really, like, meet anybody
Right.
else. But, like, that contradicts that whole statement. They are the most loving people.
Yes. And why
Oh.
shouldn't they be?
Yeah,
You know what
I mean, like, honestly, there's no...
yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
But I know that also Aaron Tveit and Andrew Scott are definitely the nicest people.
They
out there,
have to
too.
be.
Absolutely.
Saints. They have to
I
be.
know. But you will be back. You will be back. I'm looking forward
Thank
to seeing it.
you.
I was looking for
Thank
tickets
you.
actually, and then the world fell apart.
Oh.
So, you know,
One day.
one day we'll be back
One
there.
day.
And, you know, if everything does go super well and miracles occur and people aren't stupid
Right.
and we can get back sooner than later, like,
Right.
how cool would it be to open up 2021, you know,
Mm-hmm.
with your show?
It's gonna be the best feeling.
Good.
It'll come back when it's right.
It will.
When it's
when
time.
it's meant to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
And people aren't going to give up. Nobody's giving up. Like, I think artists are standing really in solidarity right now. You know, how can we help? What can we do? And I know people are like, virtual theater, no. Not gonna do, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I get it. That's not an easy platform for a lot of people, but it's also been a saving grace for others. So, you know, it's just like, just do what you can.
Yeah. Like, do
Whatever.
what's right for you.
Right? Or just go back to bed.
Right.
You know? And wear a mask.
Right.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, I might sneak in a nap today.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank
I'm so
you for
glad you came
having me.
in. Thanks for wearing
So
your
much
mask.
fun. Oh, no
You know,
problem.
We're keeping
Fashionable.
safe. Yeah. Oh, my nose. Ah! Sorry. But thank you for listening in. Thank you for watching. This is Speak Easily with Krista Stoff. This is, it's just weird. Like, yeah. Technology is amazing, my friends. But we are here on YouTube. We are here on SoundCloud and iTunes. I really think I need a nap today. There are words that should not be problems that are severe problems today. Anyway, you can find us there. Like us on Facebook. If you have any questions, you know, ask Ben. See what he says.
I'll answer them.
He'll answer. Probably not the way you want to hear it, but please wear your masks. Please be safe.
Yes.
Wash your hands.
Yes.
Open your mouth when you do mascara, and
It's important.
you know.
Watch out for those bath salts. Boxland Media. Think big.